Guys, welcome back. Josh, you're not even in the pod. Anyway, there we go. Right, guys, welcome back. This is episode 5.
This is episode 6, my friend.
Episode 6.
Season 2.
Josh, do you mind jumping into the garage just quickly? I haven't had a wee Red Bull. I'm quite tired.
You're drinking what? And what?
Mate, we're going to kick off this podcast with a pet peeve because, well, I've got 2 pet peeves to be honest.
You always have some good ones when you come out of an airport.
Yeah, well, I've got a few. Number 1 being Glasgow Airport drop off and pick up used to be £2 to pull in to pick somebody up and then drive back out again. First of all, it was free, then it was £2. Now it's £5.50. No matter if you're there for 3 seconds, and it goes up if you're there for any longer. It should be fucking free to drop somebody off at the airport. Shouldn't cost you any money to pick somebody up or drop somebody off at the airport. It's a pure farce. Anyway, that's my first pet peeve. My second pet peeve is EasyJet Plus, right, who I paid for, which is £250 a year, which gets you a big bag, seat choice, speedy boarding and fast track security, right, which is usually 50 or 60 quid per flight. So if you fly quite a lot, it's well worth buying, right? So you pay your 250 quid and that's it. You get free seat choice, the lot, right? The bastards, the seat choice now is £3 if you want to sit at the front. Even if you've got EasyJet Plus, £3 if you want to sit at the front, and £2 if you want to sit in the exit seats.
Yeah.
Fucking joke.
That is bad. Do you still get the bag?
You still get the bag, you still got all the bits, but I'm like,
you got to still pay for extras.
it's like they've went, oh fuck, well fuck that.
Yeah, it's far too cheap.
Shit, look at the amount of people travelling EasyJet Plus, we're not getting anywhere near as much. How are we going to get that money back? I know what we'll do. We'll start charging them to sit in the front row. I'm like, that's the whole point of getting EasyJet Plus in the first place.
You were the biggest advocate for EasyJet Plus.
Bastards
you told everyone.
The bastards have got you everywhere you turn.
We'll resume the podcast. What would you like?
Yeah, and that's it.
Right, we're back. Some Red Bulls to cool you down. I've also got a pet peeve.
I did have another one.
Go on, hit me.
But I can't remember it.
Alright, well, let me go.
It'll come back to me though.
Let me go and you can come back. Mine is
do you know what fucking pissed me off yesterday? I check in the hotel, right? I'm knackered. Get up to my room. So, first of all, I get to the room door, and it's nothing worse, is there? When you're tired, you get to the hotel, you get up to the room door, and the bastard at reception's gave you the wrong key. So the key doesn't work. So I'm thinking, fuck, I'm going to traipse all the way back down to reception, get this key, get a fresh key. But anyway, I've heard that wee guy coming up the stairs, a wee maid. So I went, fuck it, he'll let me in. So I said to him, hi mate, how you doing? I said, listen, they've given me the wrong key. But he's like, do you mind if I check your name? I said, no. So he's checked my name, fine. He's let me in the room. So I'm sitting in the room, balky's on, I've just had a shower, I've got all my gear off, just my boxers on. I'm sitting on my laptop, because I'm getting the YouTube loaded up so I can watch a bit of golf on the YouTube. The next minute the door swung open, a woman's walked in.
Shut up.
She went, is this your room? I went, I fucking hope so. She went, 421? I went, 421? She went, oh, they must have put us in the wrong room. I'm like, alright.
He said, oh, come on in.
I'm like, alright. And she just went, right, okay, we'll see you later. And then she left, and about 20 minutes later, bear in mind, it's 10 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, something like that. The reception phones me. Hi, how you doing? We've given you the wrong room.
Oh my god.
Bit of an issue. I went, alright. I said, what's the issue? Well, we're going to have to move your room. I went, no. You're not going to have to move me rooms. I said, I've been in the room for 45 minutes, had a shower, all my stuff's lying there. I'm not moving room. And listen, it wasn't some big plush hotel. They'd give me like the presidential suite by mistake, and I was like, due up your normal room. It was just a normal room. All the rooms are the same. I was like, just give the woman the other room. The room you were supposed to put me in. He's like, alright, okay, yeah, fair point. Alright, thanks, see you later. I'm like,
that was it?
Fucking idiots, honestly. Absolute clout. Anyway, what was yours?
Mine was like normal girls, and then all of a sudden they go to Bali. Let's say they even go to Bali by themselves, right? And all of a sudden they turn into like the holiday poses.
Oh.
And they're like pure like, oh. But they're not like that normally, and now they've gone and they think they're like a travel influencer. Whether it's a nick or a red flag, that's my one. And then I'm going to put people on a hack that you've put me on to, the car wash.
What?
When you go in, you've had your car wash, to pay the guy, you put your window down, to pay the guy, Obviously,
big mistake, because I put you onto that hack.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So you go and get the car washed, the car's all freshly washed,
Yeah.
but then the little bit on your window that stops the rain going down the crack in the window is all usually made of like rubber or in Macas, like felty material.
Yeah.
So you put your car washed freshly clean, you put your window down, that just soaks your window again because the wee bit's wet.
Exactly.
So then your window looks manky,
Yeah.
and the rest of your car looks clean. So that everybody puts their window down to pay the guy, but actually what you should do is open your door, so you don't need to put the window down, then you wait for the window to dry, and then you can put the window down, otherwise your window is dirty.
So there's a hack for you lot.
There's a hack. And you should also get a car, when you go for a car wash, if you're just going for a no valet, you get a wash and dry in the tyres. Because if they don't dry it, your car just gets manky again.
Yeah, I've started doing that. It's the extra £1. It's worth it.
It's £1 for a chamois dry, mate. Sometimes I just go out and do it myself. I just help the guy. Sometimes he's taking too long. There's one guy shampooing.
I've never seen
One guy chamois
a car.
One guy chamoising the whole car. I'm like, mate, just get me another chamois and I'll chamois it with you. So two of us are standing chamoising the car.
Did you get a discount?
No, it's not. I don't
50p?
do it for a discount. I just do it because the guy. You either sit in your arse and wait 10 minutes for the guy to chamois your car, or you can get out and help him. It takes 5 minutes.
There you go.
Do you know what I mean? I also quite like to check his handiwork and all when he's out there.
And say, you missed a bit.
You've missed a bit there, my friend.
Anyway, we'll crack on with the pod.
Anyway, the guy that usually chamois the car in the car wash actually gets sacked for stealing money.
Yeah, he did.
And you walked in and him doing a piss actually one day. You said he had a massive wagon.
He had a huge chopper. Yeah. I just like bust the door open, he just stood there. And the toilet is like facing you. I know it's a weird scenario. And I was going in, I'm like, sorry mate, I walked in, I'm like, mate, the geezer's in there just full blown pissing. And he was like, you have a big car? And I was like, yeah, he did. Anyway, very strange. You've just come back from the airport, you went to London.
Yeah, I was in London finally getting the 6702 delivered to the client. So that has been nothing short of a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah, can we talk about the logistics of how getting it here, or
we can. Yeah, so obviously the watch didn't come from the UK, so the watch came from very, very, very far away to a country that doesn't speak any English. So, well, they do, but like very little English. The man who the most English I got was okay. So you just say okay to everything. You're trying to obviously get something done. It's really difficult. People wouldn't believe you in this business if you told them their level of trust that you put in other people. Like, it's honestly blows my mind sometimes, and it really shines a light on the amount of trust required in this business and the risk you take in this business when you do those big deals like that. You're sending someone halfway across the world, the other side of the world, you know, £250,000.
Yeah.
Someone you've never met before. Like, he could just disappear into thin air and, you know, never appear again. So it's difficult. You need someone in that country who you can trust, who can receive the watch for you. They can verify the watch. They can check the watch. It's also, you also need someone who knows what they're doing. It's not just a random person. Do you know what I mean? Because so many instances where people have been done with fake papers, fake watches, and these watches are worth so much money. It's not like buying a Rolex. If you buy a GMT or something, okay, 14, 15 grand, whatever. Usually the cost involved in creating a fake good enough that's going to get past someone isn't worth doing.
Yeah.
Because the watch is only worth 15 grand. It might cost someone, you know, 7 or 8 grand to make the fake. So is it worth going through all that hassle to get that done, to then potentially it not happen? Yeah, probably not. But when you're talking about a watch worth £250,000, you know, if someone spends 15, 20 grand to get the fake done and it's perfect, then they've still got 225 grand on the other end for free. Do you know what I mean? So the risk involved, you need someone who knows what they're doing, who has experience, who knows what to look for, who knows like the little things to check. Yeah, so like for example on RM papers, when you shine a UV light on the back of the RM papers, there's like holograms that come up on the back, so they all need to be uniform. You need to check them. You need to also check the papers, because it's unfortunately with Patek and with RM, it's still a sheet of paper. Yeah. It's not like Rolex, it's an electronic card. With Patek and RM, it's a sheet of paper inside a big booklet thing, and then you get the box. You need to check the box is real, check the booklet, check all the bits that come with it, make sure the straps are real, make sure the watch doesn't have any marks on it. Sometimes you can often see that when the bracelets have been changed on the RMs, there's marks on the screws. You know, there's loads of different things you need to check for. So you need someone who you can trust there. So that costs money.
Yeah, I was about to say, all of these things cost money.
So that person doesn't do that for free.
Yeah.
You know, and then you need someone who can ship it to the UK. So that person also doesn't do that for free. Mm-hmm. So every single link in the chain when you're doing these big deals costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
So when you initially plan the deal out, there's a little bit of a learning curve for me especially, because that was really, you know, we've done big deals before, but most of them have originated in the UK. So when you're dealing like cross-border like that, it's difficult. You've got shipping, you've got import-export, you've got all of that to take into account when you're doing these big deals. And you know, often when you first lie out the deal in black and white, you think, right, buy it for that, sell it for that, off, yeah, we've done really well there. But actually, really, when you break it down and you pay that guy who introduced you to that guy who introduced you to the shipping guy who introduced you to the guy who can verify it, who then, you know, then you've got straps to buy, then you've got like you've got box and papers to buy, like not papers to buy, you've got the box and the paperwork folder thing to buy, because sometimes the watches don't come with them, so you need to buy them separately. So all of that ends up adding up. So then a deal that looked really, really lucrative at the beginning can often then become a lot more expensive for us. And with that deal, the first watch we found was cheap enough that we could make the deal happen. Then all of a sudden the guy pulls out because RM were holding the papers, and then we were in a mad scramble after actually getting the money for the watch from the client, who, by the way, is honestly one of the most understanding clients I've ever met in my entire life. Young guy from London who is, you know, one of the easiest people in the world to deal with. Like, he says he wants a watch, we give him a price, he knows what things are worth, he doesn't overpay, he knows he doesn't underpay, because he trusts us to get him the watch that he wants.
He knows his stuff as well.
He's a clued up guy, obviously very intelligent, has done extremely well for himself. And that's fine. Sends the money. A couple of days later you get the money, and then you can basically go and get the watch for him. And you know, he sent us that 7 weeks ago. 7 weeks ago. So obviously we're in contact with him the entire time, just letting him know how things are going, and he is so understanding. Listen guys, don't worry, I know, I trust you guys. He's bought 5740 from us, he's bought a skeleton AP from us, you know, he's just lining up hopefully to buy something else in the next kind of 4 or 5 months. So yeah, really understanding client. And whereas most clients would have been like, oh, if it's not here in 2 weeks, forget it, send me my money back. So sometimes with these bigger pieces, there's so many more things that you need to think about. There's so many more, you know, things you need to consider before you can actually get the watch and deliver it to the client, that not a lot of clients would understand that. And see, to be completely honest, it was me buying the watch, I don't think I would have been as understanding as that guy. Because it's a long time and it's a hell of a lot of money. And watch dealers get such a bad rep, because a lot of guys would have been like, right, well, I've got 250 grand now for the next 7 weeks, like,
what can I do with it?
That's an extra 250k on top of the amount of money that I've, like, let me just quickly use that to buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, and then hopefully I'll get out all of that in the next 4 or 5 weeks, and then I'll be able to have all the money by the time comes. And then that, in reality, if you have experience in the watch industry, you know for a fact that it's just not how that happens.
All the big guys who are, you know, during COVID that did really well, that's how they died.
100%. And what you find is dealers that you can see no longevity with or no long-term plan with, is they're just constantly spinning plates. So they've got zero money in the bank account, but they've got, you know, £500,000 spread all over the place. They've got, you know, money with this guy, money in this watch, money here, they owe this person, they owe that person, they owe this. So all of that eventually adds up, and before you know it, it just comes on top of you, and it always comes on top of you at the wrong time. And when you're needing that 250k that you've used that you shouldn't have used, it never ever comes back to you on the time that you need it. And then all of a sudden you're having to borrow it off someone else, and then it's costing you money to borrow the money, and you know, you just end up swamped. So experience has told me that when someone trusts you with that amount of money, you put it to one side, you forget you even have it. And
or do what you need to do with that money.
You
need to buy the watch. Okay, fine.
You buy the watch, you do whatever you need to do, you put it to one side, and that is not, it's very easy to get money into your bank account and go, oh, right, okay, like now we've got that amount of money to trade with, but the reality is that is not how you can, you cannot run a business like that, because before you know it, you know, all of a sudden you've bought a watch, it's not turned up, you know, and then you're chasing your tail, and it's just unnecessary stress.
There's just so many things that can go wrong in that situation.
Total unnecessary stress, honestly. So you put that money to one side, you make sure you get the deal done, and you don't touch that money, and that money is for that deal and that deal only. You don't use that for anything else. So that was good. It was really good. It was just, it was long-winded, it was stressful. You're up at, you know, the place is obviously a different time zone from us, so we're up at, you know, early doors in the morning trying to get stuff done. I've got flights to go to London at 6 AM usually, and then I've been up since 2-3 o'clock really, like, even though I'm getting a flight at 6, I've been up from 2-3 dealing with this, and then I've got a flight at 6, and then I've got a full day in London to do. So it was long, it was stressful, but listen, it's exciting, and that's the reason why we do these deals, and the reason why we started this business is to get to the position where clients have enough trust in us to send us that amount of money and make sure the deal happens. So no, it's exciting, stressful, But do you know what? It kept me focused for those 6 or 7 weeks, and I was on it, and I was making sure that, like, and I met him last night and gave him his watch, and by the way, he pulled up in a honest to God, we were at the Ferrari the other day, he pulled up in a brand spanking new Ferrari. I thought, yeah, fair enough. It was cool. Got in, he had a little Chrome Hearts hoodie on. I was like, this guy's living the dream, like, proper. It was cool, and such a nice guy.
But that's another thing with that client as well, right?
Yeah, such a nice
being
guy.
a watch dealer, a lot of people, like, being a client, think that, you know, you're doing them the favour, and actually he appreciates all the work that's going into what you're doing.
Do you know, the thing is, like, it's really difficult to convey how many minefields there is in deals like that, and he knows, because he said to me last night, I was in the car for about 20 minutes, he said to me last night, he said, look, he said, a few of my mates have been burned buying from people overseas. He said, so I wanted to use you guys because I know I can trust you, and I know that the last few deals that we've done, you've always came correct, everything's been perfect, you've never said something you can't do, and you've never over-promised and under-delivered, you've always under-promised and over-delivered, which is kind of the motto of everything that I've done. You know, never say you're going to do something if you can't do it, and always do more than you promise you're going to do, because then people really appreciate that. So, you know, as a thank you, we got my little personalised watch roll from a company called Crook, which is a guy who actually reached out to us to say that he's got these watch rolls, but it's not just like a watch roll.
It's a super luxurious watch roll.
It's not just a watch roll you would go and buy off Amazon, like, where he's fucking initials on it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was like, you know, 500-600 quid for a watch roll, and it's really cool. It's like collab with another guy. There's only like 250 of them, and then 3, so I've got my 2 watch roll. So that'll be good. Like, it's a little thank you to him, as to say, look, thanks, really appreciate the trust that you've put in us, and, you know, the understanding, the amount of time you gave us to make sure the deal got done. So it was a really good one to get over the line. So,
and then I've been here now, what, a year and a half. I have seen RMs, however, that is the coolest watch I have ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, listen, and another thing to think about as well is that watch, so the watch came on a red strap. Client thought the red strap was a little bit loud, wanted a grey strap for it, which, being completely honest, I totally agree with. I think the red strap's far too loud for it. Unless you're a Formula 1 driver, but obviously he's not a Formula 1 driver, so...
could be.
Amount of cars the guy's got, he might be. And see, trying to find a grey strap for that watch, so difficult. Find one, put it in the chats, a guy messaged me, I've got one, I pay the guy, he sends me, it's an 11 strap, not a 67 strap. So I'm like, mate, you've sent me the wrong strap. Oh, sorry mate, I'm travelling just now, I'll get back to you in a week's time, we'll refund you. I'm like, yeah mate, I was like 2 weeks ago, you still not refunded me. Then I go to RM yesterday trying to get the strap, they had a yellow strap, that was bright yellow, like a luminous yellow strap. Obviously that's no use to us. Then I went to 90 Mount Street to ask the guy to get if they had any straps that I could buy. Nah, they didn't have any straps either. So, and the guy in RM says to me, oh yeah, I've got clients waiting 2.5-3 years for a strap. I'm like, piss off, mate. You tell me a guy's come in here, spent £200,000 on a watch, you can't get him the strap he wants. Like, see that's when a brand goes too far the other direction. Like, you should be, yes, the watches should be hard to get, but see when you buy that watch and you get that watch and you're willing to pay, whether it's retail price or you've went and bought that from the grey market, see if you want a different coloured strap or a different coloured winder on it, or, you know, you want a buckle instead of a Velcro strap, you should be able to buy that there and then. I agree. They should have all the straps there that you can buy, whether they're 1,500 quid, 2 grand, whatever they are, it doesn't matter. But they should have them there, because if you've went through the process and spent that amount of money, you should be able to buy the strap that you want.
You appreciate the brand, you've spent that money.
Like, it's bullshit that you need to then go
the way you want.
Yeah, you should be able to get it exactly the way you want it, rather than having to go and buy it on the grey market. Like, these straps, like that strap for that watch is 3 grand.
That's ridiculous.
It's Velcro.
That's and
it's just supply and demand. It's not because it's worth that. Crazy, but what a cool watch. Oh my god.
So that leads me on to my next question, because I'm gonna hit you with some, not so quick fire, but some questions we get asked regularly that I'm gonna put it to you. So that was the coolest watch I've ever seen. What is the coolest watch that you have sold? There's a couple questions, so hopefully they don't cross over.
I mean, that'll be up there just because it's a personal preference of mine. I think the 67 is a perfect size. It's an RM that's not too thick. We did sell an RM years ago during COVID, which is an RM 008, which I think there's 10 or 20 of them. Sold one of them during COVID, which was really cool, but much thicker case. But a 67 is a little bit cooler for me, so I'd probably say the 67 was really cool. Yeah, I seen a black ceramic double open works yesterday, ceramic AP, a black one. Cool. Yeah, really cool, really nice.
This might, double onto the same thing. Rarest watch you've sold?
Probably that RM.
Yeah. Any others? You got obviously the Porsche.
Cloches was one of 100. We've done a few, one of 50s, one of 100s. Sold a couple of Langers that are quite rare, but yeah, probably that, the 20 pieces. We quoted a client on an RM 2704 last year, which is the RM that looks like a tennis racket.
Yes. I know what you're talking about.
But there's only 50 pieces of that. So we quoted a guy, we didn't sell it. God, I'd have retired it on the spot if we sold that. It was like £2.5 million. But yeah, just excited to be in the position where clients are thinking about you when they're looking to purchase these watches.
Yeah, so I'm gonna come on to that now. I was gonna do it later. I've got a point on this. Now you've started dealing with, or like showcasing, the rarest stock. The inquiries you're getting is crazy.
Yeah.
Like so many RM inquiries at the moment.
Yeah, bigger. I mean, we quoted a guy on a Mutaz, which is another 6702, the pink variant, the other day.
Qatar edition.
We're looking for a Crash at the moment.
3501, a Rafa. Looking
for a Rafa as well. Yeah, so like.
And this has been in a course of like a week. These have just.
I think what happens is people see the pictures on Instagram. It gives you a little bit of social proof.
Yeah. That
you can then deal in those pieces, and you've got experience dealing in those pieces, because so many people put up pictures like that and they don't really buy or sell them.
Yeah.
So I think it gives you a little bit of social proof. It makes people trust you a little bit, and then that brings the inquiries in. Oh look, listen, you can get inquiries until you're blue in the face. It's about trying to get conversions.
Yeah. Most expensive watch you've sold?
The RMOE, I think it was like £500,000.
What's it called?
RM008.
Oh, that one in COVID.
It was like 575 or something, 560.
Who bought that?
Well, some young guy. He was like 24 or something.
Good.
Insane.
Need to work harder.
I know.
Famous clients. You obviously don't have to go into it. Everyone always asks, do you deal with famous people? Do you deal with famous people?
Yeah, have done.
What? How do they come across?
Footballers. Done a lot of footballers. Done a few, like, I wouldn't say A-listers, but like famous people that you would know.
Yeah.
Yeah, generally really well. The footballer thing's funny. Like, I don't know. It's difficult to say. A lot of footballers buy a lot of stuff at list price. Where generally they're getting the best models at the best price, so they've got massive upside on every watch, which means that they're not in the same mindset as someone who's just been buying from the grey market, for example, because they're always got upside, right? Or maybe they've bought a couple of things from Patek, but then they've got 5990 rows, they've had 5164, they've had 5167, they've had 5711, even though they've had a little bit of shit.
Yeah.
Couple of watches that are shit, they've had amazing stuff on the back end.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the football thing's funny. I think a lot of footballers want everything for nothing.
Yeah.
Got a few really good clients who are super understanding. We buy stuff and sell stuff with, and they're great. But there is a few footballers who have messaged before, and like they want, one in particular springs to mind, and I'm not going to name him on this, but he's pretty famous. And like quite a big name, I would say. And actually played for a team that you support, but anyway, we're not going to get into that. But oh my god, I mean, what was that like, Josh?
That was hard work.
It was.
We did more than what we should have done in that situation as well. We went above and beyond.
It was like pulling teeth, and I swear, and I'm not even going to tell you what it was for. I'm not even going to tell you what it was about. We ended up, after driving 4 or 5 hours to wherever we were going, we ended up not arguing, but we couldn't get the deal done over 50 quid.
Yeah.
50 quid. And we got to the place that we were supposed to meet him, which was at his house. And he didn't even invite us in. Okay, some people are going to think of like footballers, I understand that. But actually, majority of footballers are super understanding and very welcoming. This guy was just like... Not that I was desperate to get inside his house.
No. Yeah, I'm not saying that.
You've driven 4.5 hours down there. It's pissing rain. I don't want to do a deal in the boot of my car.
Aye. But that's
he wanted to do the deal in the boot of the car.
and then we had to coin flip in the middle of the street.
And I had to coin flip for the 50 quid. I'm like, mate.
And also, I'm sure his particular flat or house was very nice, but the area he was in isn't really the nicest, nor is it the safest. It was in a city centre.
Yeah, you're not wanting to do that deal there and then, and that it was just, oh yeah, he's hard work. Like,
Yeah.
he thinks things are worth fucking through the roof, and then when he's asking to buy something, wants to pay like bottom.
But we know
dollar.
where he's getting his watches from as well, which there's no wonder why he's expecting to be paying top dollar, because I think the guy who sells him a lot of the watches is.
I know, but it's
giving him.
just, honestly, it's sometimes like, see, for the sake of 100 quid, like 50 quid, like you're honestly talking like he's calling the deal off for
Yeah.
£50. I'm like, mate, come on, like there has to be some level of leeway. Like when a client's been that difficult to deal with, like when he then texts me, I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be a headache. Do you know what I mean? Rather than being like, oh yeah, let me just go and quickly sort that guy out or make sure that guy's good or whatever. Like you need to have a little bit of come and go.
Yeah, it was his birthday last week, and I texted him and I said, "Happy birthday, mate. Have a good day." He then came back and went, "Do you want to buy this off me?" And that's what I said to you. And I was like, this is where this has come from. I was just like, I haven't heard from him in a while. I was just like, "Hi, mate. Happy birthday." Now I've got you.
I know.
Let's pull your pants down. I was
Cheers,
like, no.
mate. Fancy this?
No thanks.
Calatrava at list price. Nah,
Not for us, thank you.
so it's all good.
Okay.
But
no, wait, we're going to cut this bit out, so I'll ask it again.
Oh,
I say, don't look at me so intensely, because
sorry.
you had a bit of a crazy day last week. You were in 3 countries in a day. We are uploading a TikTok, so you'll probably see the actual behind the scenes of it, but that was a Patek.
Yeah, 5167 Rose. So I went to Ireland in the morning, then I went to London in the afternoon, and then I went back to Scotland in the evening.
Yeah.
So it was long. I was up at, again, crack of dawn. It was good though. I like
Yeah, you thrive on-
weirdly. I mean, I know like people think fuck 4 in the morning, and do you know what always happens to me? It always lands on the day after that I play double football the night before.
Yeah, but you choose to play, and we play golf during the day.
Yeah, so we went on the Wednesday. I went on the Wednesday. I played golf in the day.
Yeah.
Then I played football at 6 till 7, and then I played football 8 till 9. So like, and then I was like, I had that flight the next morning at 4 o'clock in the morning. So, but do you know what? See, like the thought of doing it is way worse than actually doing it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck, I need to fucking get up at 4 o'clock tomorrow morning, book my taxi. Like I'm going to be after football. I find it difficult to go to sleep. So I'm like up till 12, then I'm up at 4. Like for a flight at 6:05. So I know I'm rubbing my nose quite a lot, but I got a random nosebleed on the flight.
Did you?
Yeah, it was weird. I've not had a nosebleed for years. Don't know if it was maybe just something to do with the pressure, but and then my nose is full of letting blood bogies, which is disgusting. But yeah, like, and then do you know what happens? Like I'm like tired, and I get up and I shower and I get my stuff together and I go, and like I was that tired that night. Do you know what? See, because I knew I wasn't staying over, I didn't even pack a fucking thing. Like, didn't even look at an outfit and nothing. I got in the morning, I had no boxers. So I was like, fuck's sake. I nearly had to wear the Calvin Kleins. Which is actually like a funny story, because like honestly, like one of the boys came over. It was like November, December time, and we always wanted to go to this. I know it's a bit of a tangent, but anyway, we always wanted to go to this restaurant in Edinburgh called Timber Yard. Me and Donald. So we were like talking about it, and anyway, one night we were out, Saturday night, we were steaming, and I was like to him, check Timber Yard. So he's checked it for the next day, and there's one reservation available. It's dead hard to get a reservation, right? So he's like 3 o'clock or something. So I'm like, book it. So he's booked it, put his card details in. It's like 150 quid ahead if you cancel it. So anyway, we've ended up out till daft o'clock in the morning. He's ended up staying at mine. We've woke up beside each other. It's like 11 o'clock or something. We need to get through to Edinburgh. He's not got a change of clothes, not got enough time to get up the road. So I'm like to him, mate, just get changed here, you can wear some of my clothes. So anyway, we've got changed. I've got my last pair of Calvin Kleins on, and he's went into the drawer, and there's only a pair of Roberto Cavallis in there. But it's like I swear to God, you couldn't have picked a worse pair of boxers. I don't even know why they're there. I don't know who they belong to. I think maybe they used to be my dad's. But like, mate, they are like silk, right? And like the band is like that thick, black, and it's got gold writing. It says Roberto Cavalli right across the front in gold writing. So he's had to wear them, and has worn them like actually For the full day, honestly, it was so funny. He had them on the whole day, and he actually weirdly never returned them to me. So I wonder if he's in Dubai now. So I wonder if he's getting used to
some nice ladies out in Dubai. I've seen them about to Carvalios.
And then my mum actually weirdly, my dad buys a lot of stuff at Wish. So like, mum will get fucking 4 deliveries a day from Wish, and my mum will get like some random shit come through the door, and like anyway, she's obviously been doing her washing, because my mum used to do my washings. Can you check the delivery on that thing if I've got a text in it or an email? And my mum obviously has been doing my washing thrown in a fucking pair of Cainham Kleins, not even trying to be Calvin, Cainham. C-A-I-N-M Klein, and I've whipped him out the drawer the other day, and it says on it Cainham Kleins. Fucking mental.
They are belters. Sorry, a few chop and changes in this. The Cainham Kleins we were talking about.
Oh, right, so funny.
Moving on from the Cainmans. You sold a beautiful rose gold Cartier Panther.
Yes, I did actually. It's a nice woman from Glasgow. Yeah, yeah, really cool. Lovely watch. Bought it for myself. Didn't end up wearing it. Yeah, sold it. She was over the moon with that.
Well, it's a cool watch. Really she was also the sort of character that would appreciate like the coolness. That
she was a bit of a character as well, to be honest. Yeah. She had a few jokes and stuff, so it was quite.
She was funny. She was bamming
usually women are like quite nervous and stuff. Obviously, like understandably, they come to meet like 2 young guys, but yeah, it was. She had a bit of banter, so it was quite good. Actually.
Well, she was bamming me up, and I didn't even know how to respond half the time. You could give it back. I just was there like, oh, you can just insult me. It's fine. And then we've had this like 6 or 7 times. One that stands to mind, there's an older gentleman that we deal with who doesn't live here, he lives away, overseas. Travel to see him once every 6 months maybe. He buys a lot from an AD, but he's the sort of guy that gets the call, answers it, says, you know, we've got this watch in stock, do you want to buy it? And he does buy it. Now, the AD just phoned him and offering him everything. Yeah. But nothing that is, you know,
every bit of shite that they've got in the day.
He goes, yeah, sure, I'd like to take it, and you know, he then comes to us, and you've got to basically tell him the honest truth, and that's poor from the AD. You know, people that are spending a lot of money and they're buying, yeah, exactly, and people that are there and they're willing to spend the money, and you know, sure, they'll buy some watches that are there that you might not necessarily be able to sell straight away. You should be, to his level anyway, should be able to be getting like off catalogue stuff.
Yeah, he's bought loads of stuff, but the AD just know that he's going to buy it, so they're just taking advantage of him with the premise that they're going to get him X, Y and Z, and then they sell him, you know, 3 bits of shit that you can't get out of.
But I mean, he's a cool enough guy. The last watch he got from us was a Tudor Black Bay, the pink one.
Yeah.
So like, he has some real heavy hitters. We've sold him Daytonas in the past. He's got heavy hitters, but because of that, he's now gone, right, I know I've got the money, I can still buy from the AD, I just don't want to do it anymore. I'd rather be giving the money to people like us.
The thing with the grey market is, you buy smart, the watch is always worth that money.
Yeah.
The AD, you're gambling. Is the watch worth that money? Is it worth way less than that? Is it going to be worth more than that? Like, no one knows. So, and listen, I walked by the Rolex shop today in Heathrow, not a soul in it. It's usually jam-packed. They had loads of watches for sale. You know, I'll watch this space. They'll be selling gold models at a discount very, very shortly. Yeah,
it's going to bite them in the arse. A question I have for you on that. Now in 2025, let's do a 10-year comparison. 2015, what was the watch industry like?
Daytonas were 5-6 grand, steel Daytonas. Rose Daytonas were 14-15 grand. If somebody was spending more than 10 grand on a watch, they were a big hitter, big baller. You could buy 3-4 watches for 20 grand.
That's crazy.
I could order from my supplier 15 steel and gold subs, 15 Daytonas, 15 of anything. Like, it was mental. There wasn't really that many watch dealers. There was 15-20 watch dealers in the UK. Especially not any young people doing it. I was quite young at the time. One dealer that was quite big at the time, which people forget that he's been doing it a long time, was A Jewelers, Abs from A Jewelers. I remember going to see him when I was young, 2014, 2015. He was the first guy that I ever seen that had 25 gold Rolexes. He had a chunk back then. He's probably the biggest, and slowly but surely the market, people have seen the opportunity and influx of dealers and people, and now you've got the Hatton Garden Arcade, which is just jam-packed full of watch dealers.
Yeah.
So,
what was the buyers like back in 2015?
People were. It wasn't an investment strategy for people. It was
Buy what you like.
It was people were showing off.
Right.
People were accepting of the fact that they might buy something and lose the money.
Right.
But yeah, it was a sign of, you know, I've got lots of money, I can buy what I like and not really care too much about what it costs.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, nowadays you'll see the watch industry, people are buying watches arguably when they probably shouldn't be buying a watch. Maybe they don't, you know, you see guys that have got, you know, 10 watches and still live at home.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know, it's changed. A lot of people are buying watches for investments now, which, you know, as Roman Sharp always said, watches aren't investments. I kind of agree with what he's saying. I also disagree with what he's saying a little bit. To your average person who's spending 15-20 grand on a watch, yes, it's not an investment, but if you're willing to do some research and buy the watch correctly, then you can get enjoyment out of that watch technically for free.
Yeah.
And then you can sell the watch, you know, if you're going to keep it for long enough, you can then sell it and get your money back, and you've had 3-4 years of wear out of it for effectively free. Now obviously as you move up to the bigger stuff and the rare stuff, then they are kind of investments, because if you're buying them at the right price, then they're always going to go up in value, because they're rare. So yeah, it's I kind of agree and disagree with that statement. As a generalisation, I agree that if, you know, 90% of the customers coming to you aren't spending over 250 grand on a watch, so yeah, they aren't really investments. Like if you're buying a gold day date, is it an investment? Probably not. If you buy it correctly, are you going to lose much money? You're probably not going to lose that much money. I know if it costs you 1,500 quid to wear a gold day date for 3 years, surely that's worth it.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's the way I look at it. But yeah.
And how would you be selling watches back then? Social media obviously wasn't as big as what it is.
Yeah, I mean, still social media. I just only had social media really 2014, 2015. You know, doing deals in car parks, you know, in the back of my car, you know, meeting a guy, you know, down a lane behind the McDonald's, like, you know, going to somebody's house. Like, it was very, very infant stages of the business. It was, you know, you're just doing anything to try and make some money. It's not it's nowhere near, you know, like the contacts and the professionalism and the stage that the business is at the moment. It is a gazillion miles from that. Yeah. And you don't really, you're learning on the job, really.
Yeah.
The customers weren't anywhere near as clued up as they are now, because, you know, social media wasn't really a thing. People couldn't really find out everything they wanted to know about a watch, so they were just kind of buying something because they'd seen someone they like wearing it. Yeah. And do you know what used to happen years ago, which was quite a good thing to let people in on? So now in the watch industry, every single country, the UK, America, Asia, all these countries, they all have big WhatsApp groups for all the dealers, which is a blessing and a curse. So years ago when I first started selling watches, it was just about your contacts. It's about who you knew, and you could, like, for example, if you were a dealer and you were looking for, I don't know, let's say you were looking for a rose Daytona, right? And you phone me, hi mate, have you got a rose Daytona? I'd say, no mate, I don't have one. I say, but I could find you one. I know someone who has one. So I would be able to phone that guy and say, let's say he was asking 15 grand. So I would say, right, okay mate, well, I found that one for 15 grand. I know it's going to cost me 15 grand to sell it to him for 16. So I phone him back, yeah mate, I know one, it's 16 grand, like if you want it, that's how much it is, blah blah blah. So you could earn money B2B. You could earn money by just joining one dealer to another. Yeah. Nowadays that is defunct. That doesn't exist because of the WhatsApp groups. So when someone needs something, they just put it in a WhatsApp group and it goes to 500 people. Yeah. So if someone's got something, they just write back to the guy. They might not even know each other. They might have never spent 2 seconds speaking to each other. They don't know him from Adam. But just because of how connected WhatsApp makes everyone, then, you know, you need to be verified to be in these groups, so people aren't really caring about.
Yeah, there's already a trust there. You can trust somebody.
There's already a level of trust there. Yeah. So you find that, yeah, it's kind of ruled out the B2B side of it, where you can join up one person to another and make some money in the middle. But yeah, definitely a completely different landscape as to what it is now.
And then just touching on the social media stuff, you see on social media now, a lot of it is about your kind of self-brand. Like you are the brand.
Founder-led.
Founder-led, How important do you think that is in 2025?
Super important. I think it depends on your outlook for your business and your long-term plan. If you want to go completely founder-led, then you can't really have a founder-led business and have an exit strategy at the same time.
Yeah.
You can, but it's going to seriously affect your business's value if you are the only reason that business works. So, for example, if you're the face of the brand and everybody comes to you for your expertise and you are on every single video and you are the brand, then it's about you.
Yeah. Really
more than it's about the business sometimes. So then it's hard to have an exit strategy because people go, well, how's this business going to continue on if you're not here?
Yeah.
Because, well, they're not going to have any of the content. When people phone, they're not going to be able to speak to you. They're not going to be able to, those people, that relationship they've built up with you, those clients over the last 5, 10, 15 years is now, doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So founder-led business is how you get eyes on the product. But you need to be careful if this isn't something you want to do forever, then being completely founder-led can actually be detrimental to you in the long term. But whereas, a business that isn't founder-led, that is just does good business and buys and sells watches and watch business, for example, you need to be a little bit founder-led, because otherwise you don't get as many eyeballs on the product as you want. You have to almost sell a little bit of the lifestyle to get people to be interested in the product, but you have to be careful not to go too far in that direction, because it will hurt the future value.
Yeah, but it is nice to see a lot of people.
But it's important, super important.
Yeah, because again, we started this podcast just because we thought, let's see where it goes. This could be funny, even if it's for us. Don't really know who was going to watch it. Now we're getting more and more people call us and say, hi mate, I'm watching the podcast, I want to do business.
Yeah, the guy a couple of weeks ago is the prime example.
Yeah. And he's hopefully going to be a fantastic client future.
I mean, I went down to see him, 60 odd watches, physical, they are available to see and buy. Car collection, I nearly shat my knickers when I seen it. Some of my favourite cars of all time in that collection. Obviously not like my favourite car of all time, if you watch this podcast you'll know, is a 250 short wheelbase. I don't have 15 million quid lying around to go and buy one, so to see one of them in the flesh, I think I might actually pee myself. But he had some amazing stuff, and I'm not even going to say anything because it might give away who it is.
Yeah, no, don't.
But my God, talk about a car collection, mate. He had some unbelievable
but again, just like a
stuff.
Super nice guy.
Oh, what a gentleman, honestly.
Yeah.
Picked us up, no awkwardness at all, really welcoming, welcomed us into his house, such a nice guy. Just sat there, spoke watches for a couple of hours, had a look at the collection, really, really, really nice guy. And he came through the podcast, I watched the podcast. He did say, when you start talking about football and all the other daft shit, I just skip past that and listen to the business and the watches, which is fair enough. But yeah, it just shows you that I was quite surprised about that, because I never thought that. I really think that people with that amount of success, I mean, his success is, that levels. Is through the roof. Like some of the cars, I was like, oh my God. I mean, you're talking millions of pounds like for each car. Yeah. But incredible, like so inspiring to go and see someone who has created wealth like that for themselves. Yeah. I was blown away by that, and some of the watches the guy had. My God!
Just on that, what's the importance of having a versatile collection?
Well, you then almost become a little bit bulletproof to market trends. So, if you've got a collection full of gold sky dwellers, then you're fucked, aren't you? Yeah. So, you're then just dependent on the desirability and the demand and supply for one model or one umbrella of models. So let's say your whole collection spanned across, I don't know, gold Rolex. So then if they, if they then become a little bit less desirable, or Rolex pump the prices too high and then they're selling for under list price,
that's everything.
Then all of a sudden everything becomes cheaper. Yeah. So then your whole collection's affected. Whereas if you've got a good spread of stuff, all the way from $5,000 all the way through to 200, 250 grand. I know not everyone can have a collection of that size, but it's important to have a diverse selection in your collection, because then it enables you to be diverse in your investments and not one thing isn't going to affect your whole collection. So no, like that guy in particular was just such a nice guy, and yeah, just to give you an idea of the work that we put into that deal. So this is all free, by the way. We didn't charge the customer anything for this. Like, we done this completely off our own backs, completely free. So obviously I had loads of watches, talking loads, like 60 plus. So you can't, for one, he can't remember what he's got. You know,
fair enough.
He doesn't know the years, you know, when he bought stuff. You know, he probably doesn't know, he's probably forgotten some of the stuff that he's bought. So I was like, look, we'll make you a spreadsheet of everything that you have, A to Z. You know, whether you want to sell stuff, some stuff, keep some stuff. I said, it doesn't matter to us. We would make you a spreadsheet. It'll give you a list of everything you've got, and then we done basically we put the references on it, the name of the watch, you know, the year that you bought it, you know, the current trade price, current sales price, and the retail price that he paid. We gave him a plus minus on what he'd paid for his retail price. We gave him a plus minus on the trade price versus the selling price, and then we totaled everything up at the bottom. So like what he had spent on his watches to buy them at list price, and what his collection was worth, and that was completely free. That's like 2 days worth of work, by the way, because one, you know, references have changed on watches, so it's difficult to find the watch that he actually has. You know, with the reference, you need to find old retail prices. You know, you need to do lots of research, and because there's stuff there that isn't just, you can't just rhyme it off the top of your head. There was loads of different stuff. So he had every watch brand known to man there. So well, it was 2 days worth of work. Get everything on that spreadsheet, make sure it's accurate, make sure the prices are accurate, make sure that's actually a price you're going to buy that watch at, and we done all that for free. And that's the sort of thing that I like to do for a client like that, because I feel like a client like that will appreciate the value of that. And look, whether he buys something off us or we buy stuff off him is irrelevant to me. Like, that doesn't matter to me at all. I would just quite like to know that that guy will go, do you know what, they done that for me, that was really kind of them to do that, they went over and above. You know, they didn't just come and say, yeah, we want to buy that and that, let's just take them. You know, we gave him a good breakdown of everything that he's got, so that hopefully he can then use that for his own use in future, and give himself an idea of where he is, and you know, what he's got and what he doesn't have, and what the kind of value of his watch collection is. So yeah, it's just, that's the kind of stuff that I think it takes to build relationships with clients that are going to stand the test of time. Because they can sell watches to anyone. I agree. You need to differentiate yourself from every other watch dealer in the country, and I guarantee you, I know for a fact there'd be very few watch dealers that would have went and done that.
I completely agree with you.
Very few watch dealers would have even travelled to go and see that. They would have said, bring them in.
And if you are watching this, I'm sorry, because I'm going to move on to some sport topics, and I know he doesn't like this sport. So you just skip this bit if you're watching. Come back in about 10 minutes.
I'm not going to name you either, because people know who you are. So.
Right, we'll talk about fresh off the Masters.
A round of applause for Rory McIlroy.
Bravo, Rory. I almost cried.
Incredible, and do you know what? Nothing pleasured me more than to see him beat Bryson.
I know, I really don't like Bryson.
I don't dislike him.
I dislike
He's just very outspoken, and I did come out to say that the Masters is a par 68. He came out to say that Augusta's a par 68 a few years ago, so that's came back and bit him in the arse.
Good.
But great to see Rory win it. Couldn't have done it in any worse fashion.
True
if he
Rory
tried.
Fashion.
My God, couldn't have made it any more harder for himself at the end. See when he plays that wedge into, is it 13 or 15? When he plays that wedge into, he's got 100 yards of green to work with on the left hand side, and he pitches it at the pin, short, bumps into the burn.
Mate,
see when he played that shot, mate, I'm like, this is over, he's done, he's fucked it.
Out the trees.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable.
What about that shot he plays through the... Never mind the one that he bends right to left round the trees that Tiger done years and years and years ago, and everybody was like, it's the best shot they've ever seen. He does it and it gets it way closer than Tiger ever did.
And
but he does it like 4 times. He does goes through the window. In the top of the trees, and like gets it to like 10 feet. Like, what? See when he played those shots, I thought he's got to win this.
He's better at the trees. Justin Rose, would you have liked to see
Rosie? Do you know what, I would have. I wouldn't have minded to see him win it.
When it went down to a shootout, I thought, okay, at least he's whatever way this goes.
And he played some great golf. I mean, I think he had 10 birdies on the final day.
I met him once, and he had a very nice RM on.
They've all got cool stuff.
His son was a wee arsehole though, so if the son watches this, you're a wee arsehole. But the Masters is something that's like, I do agree with people when they go, watching golf is boring. I can understand why you would say that, but the Masters, I watch every second of it.
Yeah,
I'm like
incredible.
glued to
no
the television.
phones in the,
Yeah.
which is cool. Just people out there watching it, enjoying it. Yeah, I love everything that tournament stands for.
Yeah,
very,
yeah.
very cool.
I completely
They've not
agree.
let anything affect them.
No.
They are who they are. They will forever be who they want to be, and nothing will ever come close to
the tradition of that.
to the tradition of the Masters
Yeah.
and that sort of stuff, and which is cool. But can we talk about Scotty Scheffler's outfit to the dinner, the Tuesday night dinner?
The shoes.
Jesus, the geezer looks like he's fucking just rolled out of bed.
I mean, how much do you think he's worth?
He's worth 50 million quid, plus probably a bit more, because that's probably quite a conservative estimate on. I mean, that was Wikipedia. It could be 150 million euros, but like, he's worth a hell of a lot. He's one of the most successful golfers in the last fucking of all time. Like, unbelievable. He's turned up to that Masters stand. He looks like he had his Granda's Jake on. He looks like he's robbed his
Granda's jacket.
Looked like he had his Granda's outfit on. The shoes.
The shoes are falling to bits.
God, Gandhi's old loafers. Christ almighty, man.
Nah, but
and he's 28. He's 3 years younger than me.
He looks old, doesn't he?
Jesus.
He looks
Christ,
Justin Rose's age.
man. But listen, he's his own man. He does what he wants.
Shouts out Meredith.
You know, good for him.
Yeah.
But what a golfer.
No, I like the fact that they're on the 18th. They're watching where we go, and everyone. So I was rudely interrupted there by the battery running out on the GoPro, but we've got our spares. Yeah, they're all around the green, watching that moment of history, and no phones.
Yeah, not one
everything is
person's got a
stored.
phone.
Everything is stored mentally. And I see that with concerts, like the fucking Coachella's on at the minute. Everyone's there. All you see is just a sea of phones, and it does. You know, I am that guy. I can't lie. I am that
You
guy.
want to get it, put it on your Instagram, whatever else. Like, I get it. There's nothing wrong with it, but
Be in the moment a little bit more.
be in the moment. Yeah, and I think Augusta really channels that, which is cool.
Yeah, and if you want to make a phone call, you've got to go to the phone booth.
Yeah, you've got to go to the phone booth. But I'm desperate to try the pimento cheese sandwich.
I think the barbecue one looks good. Don't know what's in it, but the barbecue sounds good. And then we actually were going to do a podcast about this. We've already filmed it, but it was a golf one, so we took it out. But Declan Rice's free kick.
Oh, the second one. Technique wise, that could be one of the best free kicks I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think I agree.
How he's hit that from the left hand side of the goal, instep of his foot, and I don't understand how the ball can curl into the side net.
Yeah. I mean, it's millimetres from the post and the bar.
But interestingly, right, I spoke to a boy that plays in the Prem, not the English Prem, and he said that doesn't happen if it's not a Champions League ball.
Interesting.
He said the balls don't do that. He said it's Champions League ball, yeah. He said, but he doesn't think that would have happened.
I mean, the whippage on that.
Oh, but he's got it in his locker.
So the first one
Rice has got that in
must
his
be
locker.
what, 3 foot wide of the post, and it
Yeah, the
just
first
comes-
one's good. The second one's elite level.
Yeah.
The second one is, if that's the corner, the ball's fucking there.
Yeah.
It doesn't go in. It can't get any further in the corner
Yeah.
if it tries. But unbelievable. I mean, 2 free kicks. That's never happened in the Champions League group stage before.
No, not surprising.
Like Champions League knockout stage before. Sorry.
Not surprised. But Arsenal are probably going to get the win tonight against Real Madrid, and
so?
then they will be playing.
I wouldn't write Real off, by the way.
I know the Bernabeu's a hard place to go, but that Arsenal performance was unbelievable. And what? How many goals? It was three goals.
Yeah, they need to score 3 tonight.
So
Listen,
anything can
don't
happen.
write them off.
Did you see the Aston Villa game last night?
Nah, I never watched it.
As much as I wanted Aston Villa to get thrown out, what a comeback!
I know they needed 1 goal, right?
Yeah, so they came back to
Philip
beat
was bouncing last
3-2.
night.
My cousin was there.
How good are PSG? But
The way they move that ball is so quick.
PSG could win that.
I think so, which is nice because PSG have been shite for quite a
They
long
are
time.
so good, mate.
They're unbelievable.
Wow.
They did the whole buying Messi, Ramos. They bought every big name, Neymar, and that just never
They're
worked.
better now.
Yeah, they're way better now. Yeah, the way they moved that football was unbelievable. So Aston Villa got chucked out. Barcelona are through. Who else is playing tonight?
Arsenal, Real, and Bayern Munich.
Oh, the line caller.
Fucking why have I forgotten that?
Inter Milan.
Enter Milan.
But Inter Milan are 2-1 up. So
Be interesting, be good games tonight. I'm looking forward to watching them. I'm actually playing football at 8:00 tonight. So
Again?
yeah,
how long do you think this has been going for?
40 odd minutes. Can do a little lap and then wrap it.
Yeah. So
Any more questions for me?
not real questions, but we'll I'll digress to the end bit. So we obviously spoke on the last podcast about the Rolex releases. We then touched obviously on the Patek ones, but we could just touch on the off catalogue Rolex stuff, the AP releases, and then the Cartier stuff. So to the gentleman who doesn't care for the sport, welcome back to the podcast. Thanks for returning.
Yeah, welcome back.
So we'll start off with the off catalogue Rolex because it's the most interesting stuff, right?
Yep.
So you've got a white gold blue sapphire Daytona.
Yeah, which they released the ruby one last year.
Yeah, but this is beautiful.
List price 600-700 grand or something. Outrageous.
Is it?
Yes. The ruby one is like 600k list price.
That is outrageous.
Crazy.
But yes, no, you like it?
Yeah, I like it. I would never give the money for it right now.
No.
But it's nice. Yeah.
Rose gold Le Mans Daytona.
Cool. Imagine having the full set. White gold, yellow gold, rose gold.
Unbelievable.
Wow. That's what I collect. Like, that's something that, because they'll only make them for 2 years or whatever. That's something that in the future will be big money.
I still remember we quoted that guy on the white gold one.
Yeah.
And then he said far too much money. It was the cheapest in the UK. He said it was still far too much money. Not even a week later. It was like 4 days later. It got discontinued.
100 grand more.
Yeah. So that sucks for him. Rose gold giraffe Daytona, which is on the brown oyster flex. Have you seen that?
No, actually.
Yeah, it's really cool. Similar to the Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah.
But different pattern. Really cool. The desk clock, the submarine.
Yeah, I did like that actually. I thought that was quite cool. Have you seen the box that comes in?
Yeah, it's gigantic.
I actually quite like it.
But
It's quite a cool little concept.
The watch is like on a ball.
It's quite a cool concept.
But that is considered off catalogue, so you can't just buy that.
Yeah, it's quite a cool concept. I do like that. I wonder how much it is. A couple grand, 2-3 grand.
Yeah, I reckon it'll be probably 4. It's gigantic. And then Roger Federer teasing the Land Dweller.
Yeah,
cool guy.
Cool marketing from Rolex actually.
Yeah, because they don't really do anything like that.
Done something similar last year where Roger Federer had all the Daytonas in his hand. Well, not in his hand, he had a box of them open, like all the rare ones, which was quite cool.
Yeah. AP releases. So the Royal Oak 41mm blue ceramic Nuit.
Yeah, so it's like black but blue. Changes in the sun.
It's quite cool.
Yeah, cool.
You like that?
Cool concept.
And then they do that in the offshore one, which isn't quite as cool. Chronograph.
That'll be dead. The offshore one, but the other one's nice. Yeah.
It just looks so big. The offshore.
Offshore's massive.
1159, which is
1159.
Yeah, 1159. Yeah, the Tuscan blue chrono, which is on like the material strap. Oh, come back to him. And then they've done it in silver chronograph. And then they've got a sand gold flying tourbillon and a perpetual calendar in white gold.
Yeah, both of those very cool.
Yeah, the last two are very, very cool.
Dog.
He's got pajamas on.
The
new perpetual calendar movement is what's in the 1159, which I think is what all the hype's about. Oh no, sorry, it's not in the 1159. It's in the new Royal Oak perpetual calendars, which you can get in sand gold. Still
that
with the
sand
blue
gold one is unbelievable. Yeah, so nice.
Yeah.
That's the one that they released last year that Serena Williams teased. It's probably my favourite one that they've done. Skeleton.
Yeah. So then you can get that. Yeah, still blue dial, and then black ceramic offshore chrono. You can get that now, and you can also get something similar. Those
big offshores are just too big.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Far too big. 43mm.
They actually hurt to wear.
Too big.
Digs into me.
Far too big.
Steel and green ceramic offshore chrono on the material bracelet, which actually is quite cool.
Yeah,
I quite like that.
I do like that one.
We'll just go on to the Cartier ones, then we'll wrap up the pod. Automatic Tank Louis, so first time
it's
Tank Louis in automatic.
Quartz anymore. Yeah, which is I think has been crying out for that.
Yeah. I mean, you do get a lot of quartz haters.
Yeah, but I don't really know why.
Yeah, it can't really make sense of it in my head.
Does your watch keep time? Yes. Then what are you worrying about what's in it for? I get it when you start moving up, you know, the ranks. What kind of movement is it? Is it a rare movement? Is it a special movement that, you know, has it got a special escapement or something in it that's revolutionary? But when you're talking about stuff under 10k, does it really matter?
Yeah. No,
for me, not. I don't think not a huge amount. Not a huge amount.
So you can get that in yellow gold, which is the large size. You can get the platinum Tank Louis in a medium size. Then the Santos Dumont, you can get that in a rose gold with a linen dial now, which is really nice. And
yeah, they've released some cool stuff. I like the one that they've released that doesn't have a face. It's got the hours in there.
So that's the Cartier Tank Privé à Gaucher, which you can get in platinum, rose and yellow gold, which was released in the 1990s,
Yeah,
and when
cool.
the vintage ones still sell for 6 figures.
Yeah, they are cool, those ones. I like them.
Yeah, Santos Dumont, they've then brought out yellow gold with the wood dial. A lot of people ask for the yellow gold though.
I think a little bit of a novelty, those ones that they've released again, like, they won't be super hard to get.
Yeah.
You'd be able to get one if you want to pay the money, but you would just buy a vintage one, wouldn't you?
You would. Tank Francais skeleton, diamond set Benoit. That's it for Cartier.
The diamond set Benoit's nice.
Yeah.
I've seen that
You
a
like
few
a
times.
Benoit.
Yeah, I do. I nearly bought one a couple of years ago.
That's the pod.
That's it.
So just kind of shoved so many words into that, I think.
Yeah, no, it was good. Good though. Good to catch up and good to get another one done. So when you're watching this, it will be Thursday, 7 o'clock. We missed one last week, did we?
Yeah, we put something else out there.
We put a vlog out, so we'll do this one Thursday, 7 o'clock. Then there'll be a vlog for the following week.
We've got
a couple of vlogs. We've got a golf vlog actually.
Yeah, we're gonna try this out. We went and played Dundonald Golf. Initially it was me and William, we were playing against each other, but the whole thing was it would take too long if we were recording both of each other, so to film William. But then it ended up in quite a heated match, so yeah, you end up towards the end.
Yeah, but what I may just say, you get 10 shots.
I did get 10 shots, but you are so much better at golf than me.
I know,
which you can see in the pod.
On your day, you're actually not bad.
No, I do agree, but that was the first time we'd played golf.
On your day, when you play your best, straight up, we would have a good game.
Yeah, I do agree. But my best comes out not often.
But fucking hell, the last 10, 12 holes, you were unreal.
Yeah, and I made that.
And that putt you made on 17, Jesus Christ, like 40 feet. It's like 40 foot.
Yeah.
I'm like, you need to make this to half the hole. Boom.
Drops.
I was like, fuck, I've got one. Then it just totally put the pressure on me. I was like, fuck.
So you'll watch that. Since doing that as well, we know how to make it better.
So now we want to be golf YouTubers.
Yeah,
basically.
The new
so hopefully, if the Masters is watching this,
we're available.
We're available next
year. Next year.
You know, if they want to give us the green light to play on the Monday after the Masters,
it's fine. We'll do it.
I'll be more than happy to play. Or if anybody wants to give us a wee invitation out to play golf, then feel free. Yeah,
anyone want to catch smoke? Yeah, we'll catch anyone.
Yeah, well, actually, the boys at Be Inspired want to smoke. And I spoke to him at golf. Listen, I spoke to him at golf at football the other night. He went round. He told me he went round the Kings of 78. Now I don't know if that's a net 78 or that's a gross 78. I never asked him that. But if that's a net 78 or if that's a gross 78, then he could be a player.
Well, again, you can be a player.
But I'll still catch smoke with him, no problem.
Yeah, right. So maybe that could be the future video.
Anyway, guys, peace out. Love. I'll speak to you soon.
Bye.